Hey guys, it's Leanne, creator of Sisterhood Live, taking place in Newport, Rhode Island, April 19th to the 21st. And we are doing a fun little interview series with all of our speakers. So you can get to know them, get a little taste of what you're going to get when you see them in person, actually in just a few short weeks. So today we're chatting with Ash. And I'm so excited to talk to you and connect with you and have you here on video. So thank you so much for taking the time. So I just jump right in usually. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your entry/journey through entrepreneur land.
Okay. I'll try to keep this short, but essentially I've always had the bug.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never enjoyed working for other people, and I got my first job when I was 14, and I realized from that moment, it was funny, I was a hostess at Boston Pizza, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that they would ask us to do is fold pizza boxes. And so I would go in the back room, and seriously, I'm like, how can I speed this up, right? Not because I disliked it, but, you know, efficiency, it just seems like there should be a better way.
There must be a better way.
Always like that. Every job I ever had, I'm like, how can I improve this? You know, like I have a creative mind, and I always felt like I could improve this. Like I could speed this up, or I could make this more efficient, or I could make this more, you know, and employers don't really like that very much because they just want you to do what they told you to do. So long story short, I've been fired 4 times, and never for, you know, bad reasons, only just that I wanted to help improve things all the time, and I would take initiative and do things without asking, and they didn't like that. So that's okay, because it taught me a huge valuable lesson in, you know, I have so much inside me in terms of ideas and ways to just improve systems, and I just felt like I need to go out and I need to do that for myself. So it was a really good opportunity for me to learn how the rest of the world operates, so that I would know how to run a business that would be against the grain and a little bit off the wall and not really normal. And oddly enough, when I did that, my whole life changed, and like the people that I work with, their lives changed too. So I started in the entrepreneurial world about 10 years ago, full force, when I graduated from university. And I started in the financial industry because it was sort of an accident. I had met somebody who was doing that, and coming from a musical background, I actually studied music in university. I knew that I couldn't make a lot of money doing that, but it was what I loved to do. And my parents were always like, don't go to school to make money. Go to school to learn about something that you love so that you can make money doing that. But I graduated in 2008, which we all know was like a really tough time for Canada and the US in terms of economic prosperity. So there wasn't a lot of work available. And so I really had to get creative. So I decided to become a broker. And it was awesome because I learned a whole bunch about how not to handle my own money. And then in turn, be able to share other people, because being a millennial, a lot of millennials we're not taught like how to, you know, manage our finances or do anything like that. So I just felt like I was really providing an excellent service and providing, you know, the information and the financial literacy that just isn't available out there.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
So I did that for 10 years, and I absolutely loved it because I felt like I was making a difference in the world, and like I was impacting the lives of young families, and it gave me a lot of fulfillment. Except that a lot of the clients that I was working with, they came to me out of desperate situations, and they really felt like they didn't have another option. So they would come to me with like debt issues or what have you. And then, so I would fix it all for them, only for them to come back to me another year or 2 later with the same issue. And I'd be like, really? Like, you didn't apply any of the strategies I gave you? And it was tough because in finance, whether you have a coach or not, you're the only one that lives your day-to-day life and makes those daily decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you don't have somebody that you're accountable to on a daily basis, you can really get yourself in a lot of trouble. So I really felt disempowered, and I knew that I needed to make a change. So I shifted from actually doing like, you know, debt consolidations and helping people get mortgages and stuff like that to leaving all of that behind and just doing money mindset coaching to those who are actually ready to make a difference in their financial futures.
Yeah.
So when that shift happened, my whole business just went boom. So I'm really excited that I decided to step out in courage a little bit, because it was really scary. I've been licensed for that long and decided that I didn't need that and had to leave a whole business behind, but it was the best move I've ever made.
Yeah, that's amazing. So bring us forward and tell us a little bit about what you do now and who you help and how you help them and sort of what you're focusing on these days.
Absolutely. So now that I've shifted my focus, my whole audience has changed too. I used to work with a lot of young millennial families, but now I'm finding that the people that are drawn to my services and like my trips especially too, are more women who are either in business or they're in corporate thinking about starting a business.
Yeah.
And really the key theme among these women is that they've reached the promotion, they've hit the cash flow goal, they've earned the title, they've earned the prestige, and realized that that wasn't actually it.
Yeah.
They get to that level and go, oh, right?
Now what?
They didn't actually fill that spot inside them that they were yearning for, that thing that they strive for, that thing that they sacrificed so much time away from their families and their own personal health and all of these things to get that thing. Yeah. They hustled, they worked the grind, they achieved it, through straight hard work and sweat. And then what?
Mm-hmm.
And I really resonate with them because I feel like I did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. Where I just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. But there's, when you're pushing so hard, it's like there's a resistance. And so when I realized that I could stop pushing so hard and step back and really allow and surrender and submit myself to a flow and work with my body and listen to my body more and really discover what's my bliss, what would I do, what do I love so much that I would pay to do it, and really tapping into my natural talents and giftings and all of those things and creating a business model that's quite unusual.
Yeah.
And just being 100% myself, I started to attract other people that had a very similar story. And it's funny how synchronicity in all of those things are, right? So I created packages and programs that are designed to help you tap into, okay, who am I?
Yeah.
What do I really like to do? Because a lot of women, they're not sure anymore, especially moms.
Yep.
We give ourselves so much to our kids that we don't even realize how much we've lost ourselves in the process. So they're part creative, because I think a lot of us lose our creativity over time. So we do fun things like painting and making jewelry and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then it's part fear conquering. So we do no, you're interrupting. And so we do some things like snorkeling or cliff diving or like kind of out there stuff, but you'd be surprised when you have a group of supportive women with you, it becomes a little bit easier. And I had a mentor one time tell me, you don't need courage for the entire time it's going to take you to do that, just for the 3 seconds just before it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on a SWAT team in his previous career before becoming an entrepreneur, and he was terrified of heights. And he never wanted to rappel off of the side of a building. It was just absolutely terrifying to him. Until he finally realized that he didn't need courage the entire way down, just enough to jump.
Yeah.
And so that really stuck with me. And that's how I've really grown as a person, is knowing, for example, my next retreat coming up, which is in the Cayman Islands, I'm terrified of the water, like the ocean, and I'm terrified of big fish. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably because I watched some shark attack movie when I was like, but I've always been like absolutely terrified. And so I'm like, well, then we have to go swim with stingrays. We have to. You know what I mean? Like, that's my biggest fear. Therefore, we must do it. And people are like, are you insane? Well, maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but guess what? There's like 30 women who want to come do it with me. So I don't know. Am I crazy?
That's awesome. I love that.
The whole premise is around conquering some fears with a group of women who are there to support you.
Yeah.
Really tapping into your creative self, and then really getting in tune with your body. And so what's really neat is we have like women who specialize in movement and laughter yoga and just fun things like that to really tune into your body, understanding how your body talks to you, and really starting to to establish some key like self-love practices that you can do so that as you move forward, you're not reaching for an ideal anymore. You're not reaching for a future happiness or a future joy. You experience it right now.
Yeah.
With things you already have. Right. So it's really cute. I have these tote bags that I give my clients and it says, you have everything you need.
Yeah.
On it.
Yes.
And I just really believe that we do already have everything. We just don't know how to, take it out of ourselves and experience it. So I really just facilitate that whole process. And it's my absolute passion. I love to do it. And it's my favorite thing to do ever.
I love it. And it fits so perfectly with Sisterhood Live because the whole piece of having a tribe of women that support you and are going to be there for you is exactly it. So I'm so excited that you're going to be with us because all of that is exactly what this event is about. So I love that.
Yay.
Speaking of which, so I know also probably not a short answer, but a little snippet of what we can expect from you on stage in April.
Ooh, okay. I'm really excited to come talk because I speak to women's groups all the time. And one of my favorite talks to do is called Rich Girl. And it's really about redefining what richness means to you because it's never the same per every person, right? Like it's depending on how you were raised, the upbringing that you had, who you saw as a mentor growing up or your caregivers or whatever, right? And a lot of us feel like richness is something that we don't currently have, but it's something we can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really trying to help, when I work with audiences, help them tap into what that is right now because richness is a feeling. Oh, I have a visitor. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
Hi, honey. Come here. Richness is a feeling, and there's ways that we can feel it right now.
Yeah.
Right. And but you can't unless you know what it is.
Right.
So I love to work with groups and lead them through a series of questions so that they can figure out what they believe it means, and then we can find out some activities that they could do right now to help start feeling more rich and abundant in their lives. And a lot of that comes from just feeling very fulfilled. And so some of the things that I talk about are helping another person without expecting a return.
Yeah.
And different strategies to open yourself up to receive more. Oh, would you like this? That would keep you quiet. Here you go. And so sometimes what I do too is I work with, I'll pick out a couple key people based on a series of questions and really use them as an example because there's usually only a couple key themes that really resonate with a whole group. So we can work with the people one-on-one. That'll be beneficial for everybody and just challenge some of where their thinking comes from, some of where their values come from, and reframing it. And I use music actually in EFT tapping in my practice, so I'll probably get into a little bit of that.
Love it.
So I'm
so
really excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what you deliver because the whole talk sounds amazing, and I love audience participation, of course. All right, I know we have a little one there, so really quick, last question. Who is one person who's had sort of the biggest impact on your life so far? And you don't have to name names, or it could be a family member.
I've actually been working with a mentor for about 4 years. And for the longest time, I just had a really hard time working with women mentors, only because I felt very intimidated by what I believed to be their level of success or prestige. Like I felt like I would always put these like incredible women up on pedestals.
Yeah.
And then when they would coach me, it just felt like maybe I could never be them. Right. And so this particular mentor of mine is actually a man, and he comes from the church community that I'm a part of. And I just really felt like all of a sudden I was more receptive to receiving feedback, and I was more open to being challenged on my own stuff.
Wow.
And he does it in such a loving way. And it helps too that he has a good relationship with my husband too. He's a good friend of the family now.
Yeah.
We started working together. I worked with him in the financial industry when I was working as a broker, and he really mentored me through a lot of the challenges that come when you're a young female millennial trying to work in finance, because it's really, really tough out there. And so he just really helped me break down a lot of what I was putting up in terms of mental barriers.
Yeah.
So it was really him that taught me what mental blocks are and how to practice mental toughness. And one of the things that he gifted me was a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And it has been a Bible of sorts to me in my business. I guess I would call it my business Bible, because any particular mental struggle that I'm having, I always just go back to a lot of the key strategies that are taught in that book about, so I don't know if you've ever heard of it, actually.
I haven't, actually.
Most people are like, oh, I don't know why it's not super, super popular, but the visual is that there's another book that's fairly similar. It's called The Tipping Point. But essentially the slight edge is that, you're on the cusp of a decision, is like the thinness of a blade.
Yeah.
And you can really decide to go one way or the other by very small, reasoning here or there. And often what makes the difference is all the really small habits and all the really small decisions that you make that compound over time. And so it's funny, but that book actually inadvertently made me floss my teeth. Because I'm like,
I can totally see how that relates. That's completely relatable.
Yeah, like sometimes when I tell that story, people are like, "That's really weird," but
no, I don't think that's weird at all.
But like a very inconsistent flosser.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was gifted with beautiful natural teeth. I've never had braces or anything, and I just I never felt like I needed to. But then I was like, "Oh, I need to be flossing," and like on the daily. Just because I was like, he uses the example of dental hygiene that can compound into future issues and stuff. But the same is true for business. All the small things that we do every day do compound into our eventual success. So I've been using that, and it was gifted to me by that mentor, and that mentor has just been, even after I left my brokerage firm, he's still been very supportive and, giving me tips and tricks and stuff along the way, because he's about 15 years older than me or so. And so I've really respected where he's at in his business. And, I love his, he's a family man. Like, his wife and kids are amazing. And we've really just become really close family friends. And I honestly don't think I would be where I am today without having somebody like that in my life that, could speak encouragement and speak so much confidence into my abilities and who I serve. And because he comes from the church background too, it's all about serving, and it's all about providing exceptional value. And I think coming into my business with that mentality rather than learning it later has been huge for me. So I'm very, very grateful to have that person in my life. And I'm just like, eventually, when I hit it really, really big, I'm just gonna like gift them like a big trip or something, like send them on a cruise or do something amazing for them.
That's awesome. And I love the piece about it being a man, and because I think I'm the opposite. So that's really interesting to hear that perspective. And I can totally see how that makes a lot of sense that it would be a man. That is really interesting. That's so cool. I'm so happy that you've had that.
My business coach only a month ago told me the real reason why I typically tend to listen to men.
Yeah.
And it's because of how I was raised. Like, my parents actually divorced when I was small. And so I didn't have that father figure that would speak into my life. And my mom always taught me, get a good job, like go get a good education, get a good job, take care of yourself, be independent, right? And don't rely on a man.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very masculine energy in my own self, just knowing like I need to be in charge. I need to do this, right? And I've always come from that masculine energy. And so for about 10 years, I'd never had any close female friends or any female clients because they were intimidated by me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because I wasn't operating as a feminine person. I was very masculine in my approach and my delivery and everything.
Yeah.
And my confidence is used to be very intimidating too. But now that I've shifted and really allowed a man, so in the last 4 years, I've really allowed a man to coach me. It's really helped me tap into my feminine side.
Yeah.
And it's helped my marriage. It's helped my parenting. It's helped my business. Everything changed. So
wow, that's
really
so interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to to chat today, and I cannot wait to meet you in person. Yes, I know. I can't wait. I keep saying that. I can't wait. I'm so excited about every time I think about that meeting that people will have that they've met online and they've never met in person, and they like that huge hug. Like, I keep picturing that happening, and it literally makes my heart beat faster. So I'm so excited to just like witness that happen with ladies, and also to be able to hug everybody that I've met online and haven't met in person, you being one of them.
I know. I'm probably going to cry.
I know. I will definitely cry. I am a crier. I like cry on demand. So lots of tears all around. But it's so fun chatting with you, and we will see you very, very soon in Newport in just a few weeks.
She's excited too. She's pointing at your face and going like, hi.
Oh, hi, baby. All right, we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Ash.
Welcome. Bye.